The wind blew softly across the mountain as the two young travelers, the boy and his sister, held the old man's tattered cloth in their hands. It was small and torn, weathered by the elements, but it carried a warmth that felt strangely familiar, like the last embrace of a loving father. The girl's voice was barely a whisper, carried away by the breeze. He never left us, even in death. He was guiding our steps. The boy, his face streaked with dirt and tears, wiped his eyes with the back of his hand and looked at the long, winding path that led towards home. His voice, though trembling, was firm. "Let's go," he said. "We have come too far to stop now." And so, with hearts filled with a courage they didn't know they possessed, they began their final journey. As they drew closer to their home, Ogden village, the dusty roads and the familiar scent of evening fires stirred memories deep within them. The tall, ancient trees that lined the path seemed to whisper a welcome. They could almost hear the distant laughter of children playing, a sound from a life they thought they had lost forever. But as they finally stepped into the village square, a strange silence fell. People stopped what they were doing, their conversations dying mid. They gathered around the two children, their faces a mixture of shock and disbelief. The travelers were thin, their clothes in rags, their bodies weary from the road, but their eyes shone with a strange, new strength that no one in the village had ever seen before. An old woman, her face a road map of wrinkles, broke the silence, her voice cracking with emotion. "These children are alive. We thought you had perished on the road." Her cry opened a floodgate of murmurs and gasps from the crowd. But before anyone else could speak, a figure pushed his way to the front. It was the rich man, the one who had accused them, the one who had cast them out into the wilderness with nothing but their empty color. His face, once filled with arrogance, was now a mask of shame and regret. He couldn't meet their eyes. "I blamed you," he stammered, his voice thick. "I punished you. I sent you away with nothing. Forgive me." The boy and girl looked at each other. 1,000 emotions swirled between them. They could have screamed. They could have recounted every moment of their suffering, every night spent in fear, every day spent in hunger. They could have turned their backs and walked away, leaving him to his shame. But the journey had changed them. It had carved away their anger and replaced it with something far more powerful. The girl stepped forward, her voice clear and calm, echoing through the silent square. "We forgive you," she said. "The journey taught us that anger only destroys the heart, but forgiveness brings peace." A wave of surprise rippled through the villagers. Even the rich man, humbled and broken, bowed his head low, unable to comprehend such grace. In that very moment of forgiveness, something magical happened. The single calabash they still carried, the one that had remained sealed, began to glow. A soft, warm light emanated from it, growing brighter and brighter, spreading through the village like a gentle dawn. The earth trembled softly beneath their feet, not in violence, but in reverence. And then, as the entire village watched in awe, the calabash opened. From its humble opening, a miracle poured forth. Mountains of food appeared, enough to feed everyone for a lifetime. Crystal clear water flowed, forming a stream that quenched the dry earth. Gold coins, shimmering like captured sunlight, filled the ground around them. Blessings, tangible and real, poured down like a gentle rain upon the astonished villagers. A great shout of joy erupted. Children, who moments ago were staring in silence, began to dance and laugh. Mothers fell to their knees in prayer, their hands clasped in gratitude. Fathers raised their arms to the heavens, praising the miracle they were witnessing. The rich man fell to his knees, weeping uncontrollably, his tears of shame now mingling with tears of overwhelming relief and gratitude. And in that moment of pure, unadulterated joy, the boy and girl finally understood the profound truth their father had tried to teach them. The calabash was never just about wealth. It was a vessel for the heart. It only opens and shares its blessings with those whose hearts are pure, humble, and forgiving. As the celebration continued, the small, torn piece of their father's cloth fluttered gently in the wind, his final message of love and wisdom finally understood. In the days that followed, the boy and girl didn't build a grand palace or a house of gold. Instead, they used their newfound blessings to build a small, humble home in the heart of the village. Their stories spread like wildfire, and people came from faraway lands, not to see the gold, but to hear their tale. Children gathered to learn about their courage in the face of despair. Adults sat and listened, learning the profound power of forgiveness. The village of Ogden was transformed, not just by wealth, but by a new spirit of compassion and understanding. And every evening, as the sun set behind the mountains, the brother and sister would place the miraculous calabash on a small wooden table in their home. They would look at it not as a source of riches, but as a reminder of their journey and its lessons. And they would say to anyone who would listen, "We survived because we trusted. We succeeded because we forgave, and we are blessed because we kept our hearts clean." Their story became a legend, a timeless testament to the power of faith, the grace of forgiveness, and the unwritten destiny that awaits all who walk their path with a pure heart.